McCarthy in Durham for joining us today. Like our entire team of candidates, Todd is bringing our positive message to the voters here in Durham. Let me tell you, I just love this part of my job, getting out and visiting the people, getting out of the bubble of Queen's Park and listening to the real people and their concerns. And whether you're in Bowmanville, Oshawa, or anywhere across Durham, I'll tell you what I see. I see hard work, resilience, determination, and most of all, I see optimism. There's a real momentum right now, and I feel it out there everywhere I'm going. People are excited and they're ready. They're ready to take on the challenges that lay ahead. They're ready to get to work, and make no mistake, our best days are still ahead. But it's up to us. It's up to each and every one of us to roll up our sleeves, to get to work, to create jobs right here in Durham and across Ontario, to build more homes, more roads, more highways, and public transit, to get more money back in your pocket. My friends, it's time to finish the job. It's time to get it done. Together, we're tackling the hardest problems and delivering real solutions. That means rebuilding Ontario's economy with better jobs and bigger paychecks. It means keeping costs down for Ontario families and putting more money back into your pockets. And it means working for workers as we get more people into the skilled trades. And it means saying yes to building highways and transit to get you out of traffic. The fact is, the people of Bowmanville are frustrated. Like too many people in Oshawa and Whitby and Ajax, they feel cut off. They're tired of waiting. Well, folks, the wait is over. I'm here today to say yes to extending GO train service to Bowmanville. I'm saying yes to connecting workers, families, and businesses across Durham with 4 new GO train stations for the region. Yes, yes to investing $730 million to bring all-day, two-way, 15-minute service all the way to Bowmanville. But while we're saying yes, the Del Duca Win Liberals, they say no. They failed to deliver for the people of Durham because they didn't make extending the GO train service for the folks out here a priority. Stephen Del Duca will tell you, you have to choose between building highways and transit. He can't help but say no. No to Highway 413, no to the Bradford bypass, no to anything that will fight gridlock. Everything you need to know about the Del Duca Win Liberals can be summed up with one simple fact. The list of highways they want to cancel is longer than the list of highways they want to build. And as for Andrew Horvath and the NDP, they're the party of no. No to every idea, no to progress, no to building. They've never seen a regulation or a tax they didn't like. They never seen a highway they didn't want to toll or cancel. My friends, the stark reality is that in the future, traveling the length of the 401 will take a full 90 minutes longer if you don't take action right now. That's another hour and a half stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic if the Liberals and NDP have their way. But I'm here to tell you that we don't have to choose between transit and highways, because we're saying yes to new transit and we're saying yes to building new highways right across this province. With Ontario's population growing, we need a plan that builds roads, highways, and transit. We came into office to do things differently, to cut through all the excuses and deliver real results. And now it's time to take the next step. It's time to make this election about saying yes. Yes to tens of thousands of new auto jobs, including right here in Durham with a great General Motor Oshawa plant investing over $2 billion. And yes, to building 1.5 million homes across Ontario so every new worker coming to Durham can afford to live right here in Durham. We're saying yes to building highways 413 and the Bradford bypass so families living in growing communities aren't stuck in traffic. Yes to keeping tolls off the highways 412 and 418. Yes to cutting the gas tax and scrapping the fees for the license plate stickers. And once again, we're the only party saying yes. This is a choice we face on June the 2nd. It's a very clear choice. If you want excuses, if you want more delays and more empty talk, well, you have a lot of options in this election. But if you want to get it done, if you have one choice, it's time to get it done for every worker looking for a new and better job. It's time to get it done for the nurses and PSWs who want to work in Ontario and the communities who desperately, desperately need them. It's time to get it done for every driver stuck in traffic and every family frozen out of the housing market. It's time to get it done for Bowmanville and Durham, and it's time to get it done for you. Friends, we have the team, we have the vision, and we have the plan. So on June the 2nd, everybody, let's do it, let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
Hi. Kreiderman, Globe and Mail. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you, early 2018, you were thinking of running for mayor of Toronto. You decided very quickly to run for the PC party leadership, and we're quickly into an election, and it's been a whirlwind 4 years.
Yep.
Can you reflect on that and how you have evolved as a politician from municipal to provincial politics? Pardon me.
Well, first of all, great question, and thank you for that. I look at it how the province has evolved. When we took office, we had the Liberals. They lost 300,000 jobs. We took office, and we went through the pandemic, and we still, with the support of the municipalities, with the provincial and federal government, we created the climate and the environment to create 500,000 new jobs. There's 500,000 more people working now than before. And before, no one was building anything. All they did is make excuses. They'd sit up, the Liberals and NDP, they would sit there and talk about it and set up committee and study after study. Nothing got done. We're building the roads, we're building the highways, we're building the bridges, we're building the largest transit project in North America right now. We're building 4 stations right here in between Oshawa and Bowmanville. And I'll tell you, it changes people's lives out here. When you add 4 additional stations, it changes people's lives, and we're going to continue building.
What about you personally as a politician? Do you feel like it's been an unusual crash course in provincial politics for you?
Well, I don't know. I think any job that you get involved in, you learn as you move forward. All of us throughout this pandemic have learned a lot. We've strengthened our healthcare system. We're building hospitals, and we have the capacity to deal with other issues. Compared to the Liberals, they had our hospital system on the brink. It was absolutely on the brink. They weren't prepared. Now we're rebuilding the hospitals, and we're ready.
Hey, Mr. Ford, you and I are old enough to have gone to grade 13 and turned out okay.
Yeah.
Is it time to bring back grade 13? Stephen Del Duca is saying that it is. It was cut by the same guy who canceled Highway 407, coincidentally, or who sold off Highway 407 rather and led to the tolls. Is it a good idea to bring back grade 13?
Well, Robert, thanks for the question, but let's go back about how the Liberals, how they treated the education system. 50%, when I took office, 50% of students were failing math. They were failing the students. They closed 600 schools, and they had triple the amount of backlog repairs. Moving forward, we're pouring money into education. We're building new schools to a tune and repairing them to a tune of $14 billion, and we're delivering better education with more funding into education.
You don't think it's a good idea to bring back grade 13, even though folks like you and me benefited from having grade 13?
Well, you know something, I just believe in investing in education, investing in schools, and investing in the backlog of repairs that, again, the Liberals, 50% of our students, under the Liberals and NDP, they were failing math. That's not the case. We're building schools, and we're putting $14 billion into building new schools as they close down 600 schools.
Hey, Mr. Ford, Aidan Schmandy, Queen's Park
Hey, Aidan.
Briefing. So when you guys signed the child care deal, you promised fee reductions in May. It's obviously May now, and parents and operators are saying they haven't seen those reductions and likely won't for a while. So are you still committed to the May rebate promise? And if not, when can parents expect this to come?
Yeah, thanks for the question. You know, we struck, I feel, the best deal that any province has right across the province. Our goal is to hit the $10 a day daycare. We're knocking off 25% May, probably in June as well. The other 25% is coming later in the year. That's 50% relief immediately for parents out there. And that's going to be huge. And I just want to thank the federal government for working with us to get to our goal of $10 a day daycare.
And the FAO report from earlier in April said that there was room for that middle class tax cut that you guys promised in 2018. The budget also had, I believe, somewhere around $10 billion in contingency funds. So I'm wondering why you chose not to include it in the budget.
Well, we're actually reducing taxes by $300 for people that are earning $50,000 or less. People earning under the $30,000 of zero tax. And what we're doing, we're actually putting money back into people's pockets. 7.1 million people ended up getting a rebate for their license tax. We're cutting the gas tax. We first cut 4.3%, and then we're cutting another 5.7%. 5.7 cents, I apologize, on July the 1st. And we're getting rid of the tolls. Just here in Durham, if you talk to the people, not only does it alleviate the traffic within the Durham region, but now they get to go on the 412 and 418 and get home earlier. Compared to the Liberals and NDP, he was the guy who jacked up the tolls on the 412 and 418, and Del Duca said he would never, ever get rid of them. We're building the highways. They aren't building highways. We're getting rid of the tolls. They want to keep the tolls. They want to bring back the license fee sticker. We don't. We want to make sure that we put money back into people's pockets.
Doug Boyd from Rogers
Hi,
TV.
Doug. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Gas prices are going up,
Yeah.
record highs.
Yeah.
Why didn't you scrap the gas tax earlier? And what's your message to consumers right now?
Yeah, well, I'll go back to when we first took office. They had that cap and trade scam, as I called it, shifting money right out of our province. We went in there immediately and we cut 4.3 cents right off the hop. Now we're doing another 5.7 cents on July the 1st. If the Liberals and NDP were in, they would increase that cap and trade. They'd bring it back. We'd be paying another 10 cents more than we would have. So we're going to continue looking at driving the cost down. And on July the 1st, we're going to add another reduction of 7.3%. I'm sorry, 7.3 cents.
You're here to announce the building of the GO extension out to Bowmanville. How much will this cost taxpayers of Ontario?
Can you repeat that? I apologize. It's 5.7 cents. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Can you tell us how much this will cost taxpayers of Ontario for this extension of the GO Transit?
It's approximately $730 million to add 4 stations right along in between Oshawa and Bowmanville. But really, what this does, it changes people's lives. When you bring transit and someone out in Bowmanville can hop on the train and go to the next town or go downtown and watch a Blue Jays game or the Leafs game, go Leafs go, and that changes people's lives, opposed to hopping in the car, driving all the way downtown to watch the Jays or the Leafs. They can hop on the transit. It's going to be 15 minutes all day, two-way to Bowmanville, and that changes people's lives out here. And what that also does, it creates new housing as well. We're here on a site that they're going to put housing in, and right behind us we're going to be putting the transit stop. We're getting it built. The other NDP and Liberals, they'll never get anything built. They just find excuses.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Ford.
Good morning.
Media with the Canadian Press. Andrea Harworth housing plan promises to build 1.5 million homes in 10 years, which was exactly the same recommendation from the task force. But your budget didn't formally commit to that target. Are you making that promise, and how you're gonna overcome the challenges you have faced up to this point in getting municipalities on board?
Yeah, no, great question. First of all, we have a phenomenal relationship with all 444 municipalities. There isn't a week that goes by I'm not talking to a dozen different mayors, and every municipality is better off than they were prior. They were frustrated with the previous two governments, because it was the NDP and the Liberals. I'll give you an example. Last year, we had more housing starts, over 100,000 housing starts since 1987. We had 13,000 rental starts. And that's more than we've seen in over 30 years. We're going to hit our targets of 150,000 homes a year. And how we're going to do it, we're working collaboratively. We had that task force, we moved forward with it. Everyone seemed to be very happy, and we had stakeholders from right around the province come together. But most important, and we're doing this, the province is giving the tools to the municipalities, number one, to standardize the process right across the province, to speed up getting the permits out there, cutting red tape and regulation. Compared to the NDP and Liberals, they don't believe in development. They just don't. They don't believe in supporting development. They're anti-development. They're anti-building roads and bridges. They're just anti-everything. So we're going to make sure we continue saying yes. Yes to building. Yes to making sure we get transit. Yes to building hospitals and schools. We're saying yes.
Thank you. Both the Liberals and the NDP are promising to cancel the current EQAO testing system. 4 years ago, you promised to fix that system, linking it to declining math scores. But the only change that has happened since then, that the assessment moved online. Have you succeeded in fixing the EQAO? And what else are you planning to change with the system?
Well, again, I'm just going to repeat what I said earlier. Under the Liberals, 50% of our students were failing math. They couldn't even get a passing grade in math. As they went right across the province and closed 600 schools, we're building 600 schools. We're improving education. We're pouring more money into education than any government in the history of this province. We're going to make sure that our kids have a proper education. They have new schools that they're going to be able to go to. We're building over $14 billion worth of schools. And the state of good repair. The state of good repair under the Liberals and NDP tripled. We're catching up on that backlog, and we're fixing the schools and building new ones.
Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.